2 months ago, I get a phone call out of the blue from a personal manager, a new personal manager, not one I'd ever spoken to before, who simply says on a phone call, "We are closing your accounts."
Farage claims that his bank Coutts has chucked him because of his political views.
I asked why. No reason was given. I was told it would all be explained in a letter.
Newspapers and fellow GB News reporters join in on the crusade.
But the breaking news is this. Nigel has just tweeted that he's been rejected by a 9th bank.
So those 7 must include many of the banks that we, the public, bailed out.
News came out that the reason Farage's account was closed was because his savings dropped below the threshold required.
Francis Coppola, if I can just turn to you. We just heard that Nigel Farage was refused because of Coutts' policy towards diversity and inclusion. I mean, I wonder how inclusive it is if you don't accept Nigel Farage.
I actually, having read the report, I actually don't think that is the reason why they closed his account. The report makes it clear that the reason they closed his account was that Nigel paid off his mortgage and the house was released as a security, and that brought him below the criteria for an account at that bank, which we should remember is a specialist provider of private banking services to very rich people.
The issue is raised in Parliament.
Jacob Rees-Mogg. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Does my right honourable friend share my unease that a bank that has the government as its largest shareholder should close the account of a senior opposition politician?
Farage unveils a document he acquired proving that Coutts did compile concerns about his political views.
This dossier claims that Nigel Farage is a fan of Enoch Powell, that he's an ally of Donald Trump. Yes, undoubtedly 2 controversial characters, but should liking them or agreeing with them play a part in who you can bank with?
More headlines and the BBC apologises.
You have been speaking up on my banking issue.
I have. Well, I think the position of the Chief Executive of NatWest is really difficult because the BBC apology, it seems to me, points the finger at her without breaking journalistic principles, a senior and credible source.
They've thrown her under the bus.
She must deny it or resign.
The chief exec of NatWest Bank, that's Dame Alison Rose, has resigned after admitting that she was the source for a BBC story about Nigel Farage's bank details.
Alison Rose resigns, plummeting NatWest's value by $770 million. 40% of NatWest is owned by the government, so $330 of that million of the loss is ours, the taxpayers. GB News boss Paul Marshall makes millions investing money against the potential of NatWest shares dropping. It is still unclear the reason Farage's bank account was closed. And here, just for the hell of it, is Nick Robinson upsetting Farage.
We're going to put that in just 1 second to Angela Knight, former Chief Executive of the British Banking Association. Just before we let you go, Mr Farage, you know, pretty much whatever you do, there are people saying, I know what this is about. He wants to get back into politics again. I know you've run 7 times and lost 7 times, but
I'm really not going to have this. I'm sick to death of your condescending tone. It's about time.
I was teasing you, Mr Farage. I was teasing you.
Actually, you weren't. What you should say to people is you're the only person in British history who's won 2 national elections leading 2 different parties. Let's try that aside.
Are you coming back then, given your previous success?
No, I'm now a champion and a crusader for men and women who've been closed down by the banks.
Click here for something interesting.